Bill Gates and Microsoft, a true leader in the software industry. Born October 28, 1955 in Seattle, Washington, Bill was the second child and only son of William Henry Gates Jr., a successful Seattle attorney, and Mary Maxwell, a former schoolteacher. Bill attended public elementary school until about the age of 13 when his parents decided he needed more intellectual stimulation, so they enrolled him in Lakeside, a private school. Bill's first job as a software designer came in high school. He was hired to design traffic data to monitor the traffic patterns in Seattle. This job earned him $20,000. Bill entered Harvard University in 1973 but dropped out less than 2 years later to pursue a career in software design. This interest in software design was brought about by a microcomputer called the Altair. Bill Gates, along with Paul Allen, a former classmate, then went on to co-found a company that would be known as Microsoft. The Microsoft Corporation has been going strong now for over 36 years, but being the type of industry it is, it continues to grow because of innovation. Although one does tend to wonder how soon the next Bill Gates will come along and boot Microsoft to the curb, thus leading to a more mature life cycle. The culture at Microsoft is an interesting one. They do not have a lot of little rules, only big rules, such as contribute to the success of your team, be professional, be responsible, set big goals, and most of all, achieve them. Microsoft also has a develop-centric culture, which means that they only hire people that are really good at what they do. Microsoft does stress innovation and commitment, but they do so in a way that leaves one feeling appreciated with things such as a laid-back dress code, game rooms to play in at work, great health insurance, and very good pay. Bill Gates, a true computer geek from an early age, but look at how he changed the world. By 1986, Bill Gates was the richest man in the world, but he was a single man. In 1989, Melinda French, a Microsoft executive, caught Bill's eye. In June of 1994, they were married on a private island in Hawaii. They later had children Jennifer Catherine Gates, Roy John Gates, and Phoebe Adele Gates. Gates stepped down as chief executive officer in January of 2000 and handed off the day-to-day management of Microsoft to his friend and right-hand man Steve Ballmer. In 2006, he began working full-time for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So how do others view Bill? According to Scott McNeely from Sun Microsystems, he's probably the most dangerous and powerful industrialist of our age. Vern Rayburn says, the moment you subjugate yourself to Bill, it can get a little dangerous. He can be an alpha male in collaborative situations. Oracle's CEO Larry Ellison says, Bill goes out and methodically searches for good ideas to steal. That's perfectly rational behavior. That's what made him very successful. But then, one by one, Bill starts to claim credit for the stolen ideas. He actually starts believing that they were really his ideas in the first place. He can't bear to see himself as a Rockefeller. He sees himself as Edison. According to Candace Dempsey from Microsoft, she says, I never worked directly for Bill when I was at Microsoft, but he is very intimidating, impatient, and, yes, given to yelling when you present a report or whatever that he considers stupid. I know people he has shrieked at. Still, they respected him. I think he'd be the first to say that he was meant to be a thinker, not a manager. As of 2011, Bill Gates and Microsoft has more than 92,000 employees. Now Brittany will discuss Bill Gates as a leader.
Bill Gates as a leader. Bill was a leader who was considered to begin both as an ethical leader and also evolved into a transformational leader as Microsoft grew. He is presently considered to be a sustainer for the Microsoft organization. Mr. Gates held strong to 7 key beliefs as a leader. First, success comes with great vision. Failures are learning lessons. The higher the self-esteem, the better it gets. Opportunity knocks once. Actions speak louder than words. Trust is an unwritten rule for great leadership wisdom. And finally, success must never come to your head. Mr. Gates began as a transformational leader. He was considered to have expert knowledge. He had much power and influence over the employees at Microsoft. Gates also was considered to have many great traits that correlate with being a leader. He had great charisma, vision for the Microsoft, experience, and a vastly large social network. Mr. Gates is now considered to be a sustainer for Microsoft. He continues to strive for greater innovation, maintains a forward momentum, he pushes great effort for design, he is motivational, and he knows how to balance the need for efficiency and adaptivity. Bill Gates once said, "I am a great believer that any tool that enhances communication has profound effects in terms of how people can learn from each other and how they can achieve the kind of freedoms that they are interested in." Mr. Gates is also considered to be an influencer. Many began seeing Gates as a ruthless competitor. He gave up much of his wealth to charities and still continues to. In 1994, Gates and his wife established the William H. Gates Foundation, which was dedicated to supporting education, world health, and investment in low-income communities. Bill Gates had many strengths and weaknesses. Strengths consisted of knowledge, power. He was an innovator, motivational, and very intelligent. He did have many weaknesses too, though. He strived to have much dominance over his employees. He was considered to have a managerial reputation and avoided conflict resolution. Another quote from Bill consisted of, "I hope you will reflect on what you've done with your talent and energy. I hope you will judge yourselves not on your professional accomplishments alone, but also on how well you work to address the world's deepest inequities, on how well you treated people a world away who have nothing in common with you but their own humanity." Now Ethan will continue on with how Bill has impacted the Microsoft community and also the culture found at Microsoft.
So we have provided a video here at the bottom of this slide, and it really just shows how Bill Gates has impacted Microsoft over the years. The two articles above, the one from BBC News and News Tribe, really go through the history of Microsoft and all the innovations and new designs they've come up with over the years, and has kept them really competitive in the market. Because as you know, this type of industry is constantly changing. You're always seeing new technology changes, and it calls for somebody that's really innovative, and it really shows how Bill Gates has really impacted Microsoft. So take a look at these three resources we provided here. Like I said, the first two are articles, and the last one's just a good video for you to get a better visual of what Bill Gates has done and how people see Bill Gates in Microsoft. So on this slide, we're talking about leader style and philosophy versus the organization's culture. And what we're talking about in this instance is really Bill Gates' leadership style and his philosophy versus Microsoft's culture. And there was an article we found on Microsoft, and it's pretty much interviewing a employee of Microsoft, and his name's Dr. Wei Ying Mao. He works with the Sigma building for Microsoft Research in Asia. And I'm quoting him here. He said, "Chatting with the great minds at Microsoft Research Asia, one is reminded of an open university that knows no boundaries. Mentors here are erudite, but never short on passion. Pupils are diligent and willing to take risk. This is where Microsoft's culture resides." So I mean, this just really talks about Microsoft is very innovative, and it takes people with great passion, and they're very diligent, willing to take those risks, because in this type of industry you have to take those risks and take that leap of faith over the cliff to hopefully be successful. And you really got to be innovative and come up with good designs and things that are going to hit the market and really create some value. But this is pretty much Bill Gates. He is the foundation of this organization. He really, has that passion and has seen that passion. He sets the vision for the employees as a good leader, and he is very diligent and he's willing to take those risks. He's not scared to take the risk, and he's very entrepreneurial. He's always thinking of new designs and new ways to come up with things, and he's kind of competing with Apple in a sense that they're coming up with new products all the time that are hitting the market and making millions of dollars within the first couple days. But he's doing the same thing. He's staying right there on the cutting edge of this industry. So on this slide, we're giving our personal opinion of Bill Gates and why we admire him, and why do we think that he's such an outstanding leader. Simply, Bill Gates, we think that he is a great leader. He is the wealthiest man alive because of his accomplishments over the year, and that alone shows people that he's been very successful. He has created a company that creates value to people and customers, and he built and guided Microsoft to be such a mature company that they're really fighting for those market shares and constantly coming up with new products in the industry and staying innovative and staying on that cutting edge of the industry to make sure that they come out with products that customers want and value. And I think that Bill Gates really sticks to the company's mission and culture because that's who he is and that's how he built the company. I mean, he had built the company on this passion and this diligence in the work that they do, and those types of things really build the company and the culture, and he stuck by those over the years. And I think that Bill Gates even now has led Microsoft into a stage where they can continue to prosper through extensive research and development. And they continue to come up with, like I said, new products and new innovations and designs and staying on that cutting edge. So when we're coming to a close here, we just have some closing thoughts and just pose some discussion questions for you to think about. One question we have is, what do you think about Bill Gates? Do you think that he's a good leader for Microsoft? Why or why not? If you don't think that Bill Gates was a great leader, what could he have done better? And if he was a great leader and is a great leader, how can we use some of his leadership styles and philosophy to help our personal leadership skills?